It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or whether doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Roosevelt said those things. My God, how they are true. So first of all, I have to thank you all. So many of you have honored me with your friendship and fellowship throughout this campaign. Hundreds of individuals have contributed to this campaign. Hundreds have contributed time, and thousands have contributed love. For 4 years, people have prayed over me and with me. People have shaken my hand and said, thank you for what you are doing. We need someone that will fight them. My supporters are the greatest part of this nation. The patriots, the lovers of this country, those unapologetic in their devotion to God and country. Nearly 7,000 people who understand that God comes first, before special interests, before ambition, before the bureaucracies that were created to serve us. And yes, even before political parties. They all came out and voted for me. Those voters aren't the ones who get a mailer and say, oh, this is pretty, I'll vote for him. And not the ones that receive attack mailers and say, oh, this lobbyist said not to vote for him, so I can't vote for him. The Americans that voted for me are the ones that know that we need to fight for the American family. I am truly proud of that fact. I am extremely proud of those who supported me. Bear with me because I have to mention some of them. I hope I don't forget any of these names. But Florida Family Action, Vets for Trump and Veterans for America First, Moms for America, Conservative Ministers of Orange County, Republicans for National Renewal, the Florida Republican Assembly, America First Insight, Red State Florida, the Calvin Coolidge Project, the Republican Liberty Caucus, and the Republican National Hispanic Assembly. I have to thank you all and thank those who endorsed me. Congressman Byron Donalds, Congressman Corey Mills, General Flynn, Grant Cardone, HHS Assistant Dep Secretary Robert Coqui, former Florida Secretary of State Jamal Soul, State Representatives Carolina Amnesty, Bernie Jacques, Doug Bankson, Orlando City Commissioner Jim Gray, School Board Member Melissa Giovanelli, Patriot Scotty Moore, former City Commissioner Wanda Rentas, Senator Nada Venegas, Jim and Cynthia Trouts, Minister Hernandez, Dr. John Littell, Ivan Rivera, Chris Messina, so many, Nick Cotterano, Vanessa Bryant, so many people who supported me are like the founding fathers, people of conviction who were willing to sacrifice convenience and comfortability for the sake of doing what was right. I am proud to be associated with you all. This race was hard. There was a ton of sacrifice. And that is good. We shouldn't avoid sacrifice to achieve victories in races. When the rich buy seats, they aren't sacrificing and appreciating the reason for this type of service, which is the people. I want everyone to be at peace. I know you all want to know how I'm doing, and just know that I'm great and in great spirits. I would have loved to have made the statement earlier, but I was exhausted and just needed some sleep. If you do public service correctly, you should feel relieved when it's over. You should feel an unburdening. These were meant to be temporary. They were not meant to be careers. They were meant to be leadership positions where you eat last. Unfortunately, in our local politics, the politicians eat first and gorge themselves and then eat again. When this is the situation, it's hard to break these parasites away from its host. So this was no easy challenge. And I wouldn't change much. I always said I would rather lose as my authentic self than to lie to the American people to be elected, than to betray my principles or to ignore the needs of the community on behalf of special interests or developers or dirty lobbyists or the other establishment forces. That was the difference in this race. And I will never abandon the 7,000 supporters I gained by loving this country to satisfy my ambition. And I will never serve the groups that satisfy themselves only through manipulation and exploitation of the American people. When I won my school board race 4 years ago, I swore on my family Bible I would pledged to put the public before myself. So with this defeat comes an unburdening. I'm released from this responsibility. I can go back to being a private citizen. I can go back to work and make money. And I'm not worried about what's next. I'm not worried about the next step. It is what it is. I leave it, just like I left this race, in God's hands. And I know his blessings, just like the blessing of being an American and being a Floridian and being elected to the school board, will follow. Thank you all, and God bless you. I love you all eternally, and I am eternally grateful.